Welcome all. So in this, we'll just understand the next level of surface capabilities, typically on CATIA V5 generative shape design exercise, right? So let's quickly get into the next level of how to create the surface feature and followed with some of the operations which is required to create in surface capabilities. And finally, we'll convert those into the third party as a solid component, okay? Let's get into that. So first thing, yesterday we stopped over here, right? So any doubts so far, gentlemen? I know there is some issue in my voice lagging. I guess it is saturated now. So is it okay now at the moment? Should be good enough, yeah. I see full strength. Okay. Right. So I'll go a bit slow because I would like to ensure that you are very clear with the capabilities and understanding. So yesterday we created a geometrical set, right? And I'm going to insert a geometrical set. I'm just going to continue that one. So I would like to ensure that I move this spline first and this circle, what is required for my operations to do. I'm sorry. So just change to geometrical set 2. Okay, and change this one to, sorry, geometrical set 2. So that you can see that all my geometrical sets are done. So this is my active. So I would like to hide this one. So these are my components which I'm going to do it. So now what we are going to learn today is that from here, how we are going to build your capabilities of surface. I'll go slow, and I'm sure everyone has completed until this as a fundamental of exercise. So from here, we'll take it up. Okay. The first step, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this color, this circle, which is nothing but the pink one, and this one, the yellow one, as my profile for creating my sweep. So I will introduce one more geometrical set, taking this as surface. I'm going to name it as surface. And you see defined in work object is currently surface, right? So I'll go to generative shape design. And now I'm going to create my sweep where I'm going to use this as my profile and this one as my guide curve. So what happens now, if you see, your sweep is generated as per that one. So the first level of sweep is done. So I have just done the sweep first. Okay. And for better understanding, I will give some color codes so that you can differentiate what is sweep, all the stuff. But it is not recommended. But if at all, for your understanding purpose, I'm just giving this color code, right? So next, I'm going to use other wireframes, this particular wireframe, the circle one. So I'll just hide this one for the moment, or I will insert one more geometrical set, no problem, right? And I'm going to name this as one more, part body as one more name. So that I'm going to insert geometrical set in my, so that I get one more geometrical set. Okay. I will name this as my surface 2 for an example. Surface 2. So at the moment, I'm not going to use it. That's the reason I'm hiding it. I'm going to use this profile, extrude this one. So I'm going to use extrude in the direction of z-axis. You can see that for a length of 25.54.4 mm. Give OK. Okay. Then I'm going to extrude this sketch also. I'm going slow because of some of them are having challenge. So that's the reason. Go this one, the same in z-axis. Just give OK. You get this two component created on the surface feature. So for your understanding, it's not recommended, but you can still give it because you're doing for the first time. I'm just giving some difference between these two extrudes, right? And I have hidden this surface also. I'm going to show that one also so that you can be very careful, right? Now, first thing what I'm going to do is that, see this two surface, and I don't want this wireframe. I'm going to hide this one. So I'm just going to use this one. Probably you can see some voice lag, no problem. I'm going slow today. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to create a connect between these two components, right? You have this edge and this edge. I'll be teaching you why to use all these features, but today let's understand why I'm going to do this one. So in this case, I'm going to use a feature called blend, where I'm going to blend this edge and this edge also, taking as a reference. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my blend operation. You're going to learn for the first time. Blend. In blend, what I'm going to do is that my first curve is this one. See that? My first curve is that one. And your first support should be belonging to your first curve. This is my support. And my second curve is this one. Sorry. My second curve is, sorry, I just selected this one, Ulta. My second curve is this edge. And I'm going to select this one as my surface. So see the direction of arrow, both the case. So blend, how it is going to happen. Blend. I'm going to blend this edge, taking this surface as a reference. And I'm going to take this edge, taking this surface as a reference. And I'm going to use a continuity to trim support. See that I'm going to use trim so that if you just click OK, fine, you can see that. I'm just not going to, I'm just going to give preview first. See that your mouse, one of the edge has been created. Okay. If at all you would like to create curvature, you can create curvature. You would like to, I will explain this later. Don't worry on that. I will explain all this interesting factors about that. Preview it, you can use even curvature also. So there are different ways. So in this case, I would like to have tangency and I would like to have tangency, right? So that your curve is done like that. So now if you see what I did, I just use this edge and this edge and taking the continuity and created this particular feature, right? Now what I'm going to do, see that I'm going to show this one on the top, show this, right? If you see that this gap is there, right? This gap will cause me a problem while I'm doing an operation. So I need to fill this gap. I need to fill this gap. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to hide this for the moment for you. I'm going to extrapolate. I'm going to extrapolate. See that? I'm going to extrapolate this edge to certain distance. So I'm going to extrapolate which surface? This edge alone. I'm going to extrapolate this edge, taking the brown color or the pink color, whichever the surface I've selected, to extra length of 12 mm, just to ensure that this gap is been taken care, right? So that this gap is taken care at the moment. So this is my extrapolate. I can just put back to my surface. See, the way you put it, you can use the geometrical surface for as you want it. So this extrapolate, I would like to give some color. See that I just gave some color. So what happened? First point to observe, when you do any operations on sweep, for an example, as we did, the child becomes hidden automatically. That is the concept of surface design. When you do an operation between any two child components, your parent components, your parent becomes hidden and your child becomes active. That's the rule of surface design capability. Are you with me? All of you are with me? in this understanding? So when you create any other feature, like when I'm going to do some operation between extrude 1 and extrude 2, this getting hidden, and automatically the new feature will publish, and the new feature will appear it. That's the reason, right? That's a concept. So what I did this sweep, I just extrapolated, right? The extrapolated, what I did, just created that edge and extrapolated so that it becomes a new surface, and that becomes hidden automatically. So I'm not going to use, I'll just hide this for the moment. Now if you see between this blue one and this brown extrude, whatever, I would like to give one fillet over here, right? Because it's a sharp edge. So what I'll do, see that I'm going to give a shape fillet. I'm going to give a shape fillet between this brown component, see that brown component, and this blue one, so that you will understand that color. That's the reason I'm just given this color for better understanding. And see that my arrow is pulling outside. So once you give OK, you can see outside. So that's not my requirement. See, it's gone default there. So I'm just going to pull here, right? So this is not my requirement, right? See that? I'll just control Z, put define in work object, this one. When I do a shape fillet between this component and this component for a radius of 25.4, and I'm going to give OK and see the arrows, both the arrows, this one and this one. Give OK, you get this one, because that's my requirement. See that? This is my requirement. So this is not, I would like to have it. I would like to have other way, right? So just click the arrow inside and this arrow inside. And see that I'm doing an operation, right? This is an operation. Shape edge fillet is an operation. When I do this operation, automatically your parent extrude 1 and extrude 2 becomes hidden. Just this is very important. Very important for you to understand that when you do any operations between two parent features, and this child will be appearing as a new one, that parent gets hidden automatically. So in this case, you just see that it gets hidden. Still, if at all you want to use it further, I can show it and use it. No problem, you can use it, but don't do that until unless it is recommended. Until unless it is recommended. Okay. So now, if you see, I have done this fillet and this blend. This blend is a separate entity. You see that? I'm just giving a color. Don't even give red color, because it's, I'll tell you down the line why to not to give the red color. But if you see, these are my components which I'm going to use it now. One is the green one, the yellow one, and the pink one. So what I'm going to do at the moment is that this component, what I see, I'm going to hide once again. This are two entities, right? Blend one and fillet one are the two entities. So what I'm going to do, this blend one and fillet one, I would like to make as one feature, right? There's two entities I would like to do as one feature. So what you're going to learn in this case, I'm going to use something called join, where I'm going to join this fillet and this blend, both. When I join this, see that, see the color, how it's going to happen. See this, I'll change this fillet color also for your identification. These are two colors, right? When I join this pink and this brown as one entity, it turns out. So once again, you see the specification tree that your parent gets hidden. Okay. So these are your two features which is there. So I'll make a show, right? These are my two features. See that? This is one feature, this is one feature. Surface and surface. So this, I'm going to do an operation now so that I'll get my final product. So what I'll do, I can do some I'm going to insert one more geometrical set, and I will name this as operations for an example. See, how you organize your specification tree is based on your inputs, right? So now if you see in this, I would like to create an operations between these two components. So I'm going to do a trim. I'll teach you all this one. I'm going to just follow this process today. Just try to create and understand what is happening with the surface. Then I'll deep dive on each and every feature and make you understand how the operation is going to work, how it's going to work. So my methodology of teaching this surface design is this format. First, you understand the concept very clearly, why we should do this, why we should not do this, all the stuff. First, blindly do one exercise like this. Then you will understand why this feature is so important for me in terms of the design aspects. Understood? Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my trim between this, which one? You see that? This extrapolate and this surface, this joint. See that you get so many results, right? This is one result. You get so many options. So this is one option. This is one more option. So this is one more option. So this is one more option. See that? And this is one more option. So you get different operations what you wanted. So finally, when you play with this, you can just find out this could be the right result for you to get it, right? This could be a right trim operation. So when I did this trim, you see that extrapolate and join has hidden automatically, because you see the parent child, your parent child relationship, you can say this is your children and this is your parent, extrapolate. So always remember, when you do any operations, your parent gets hidden default, right? Clear, guys? Are you guys clear? Perfect. Sounds interesting, this module? Yeah. Good, Sarunan. Good, Vishnu. So now, what we are going to do is that I'm going to create, I'll show you, don't worry on that. I'll show you that. Now, I'm going to give my final operations. I'm going to do my final operations. What is that final operations? Let me give, this is a shape fillet. Now I'm going to give edge fillet for this feature. Okay. I'm going to give edge fillet for this feature, where I'm going to select edge fillet and select this edge for a diameter of radius of 5 mm. Just give OK. You get this, right? So this could be your operation. So what I'll do, just for any, no, this, your model doesn't stops here. It continues further also. You need to do some other operations also. You will do some variable offset. Okay. All the stuff you will be doing. Don't worry on that. So what I'll do now is that this is your final, right? And this final, you can insert one geometrical set and create this one as my final also. So what I'll do, insert one geometrical set, create as final, properties as final, just for an example. But you have to do so many operations in that, but I'm going to stop over here and I'm going to move this here. Change it to final. So this is also not required for me. I'm just showing a simple example how to do that. All right. So now you are having your final component. Now what you do, you get back to my part modeling capability, part design. See that part design, and you have a feature called closed surface. Yesterday we did, right? See here. closed surface. Close the surface. You have a surface, right? And this is a part design feature. Remember, this part design feature will always come under part body, right? So this is not required for me. I'll just delete. So I'm going to click my solid and default current in work object. Isn't it a body? The new solid feature will come under part body. And just select this one and give OK. You see that your solid is generated now. Now this is also not required for me. So now you have created the entire mouse, right? Using surface design, which is not easy in part design, right? This is not easy in part design. See that? You agree with me? This is not easy in part design. Do you agree with me or not? To get this surface capabilities. Do you agree with me? Yep. Yes. So this operation or this finishing, you can't get it in surface capabilities, right? So from this, what you understand, what is your lesson learned from this particular exercise is that you can organize your specification tree, the wireframes in a structured way, number one. Number two, when you use those features, your parent, when you do operations, your parent becomes hidden automatically. And number three, you can organize your specification tree such that your final result can be in one particular geometrical set. Sorry. And finally, you're going to do a closed surface. And if at all you want to do any changes in the solid, no need to worry. Just go there, show this feature, and I'm just going to hide this one. So if you just edit this edge fillet, just see that this edge fillet, I'm going to make it to 10 mm for an example. And automatically your solid also gets changes to the 10 mm. Understood? So that means whatever you do changes here. See this, I'm going to change it to 4 mm. Your solid also gets changes. See that? You can see that. I'm going to change here to 2 mm. See the solid. It is turning to red. I'm going to change it to 4 mm. See that? Right? So this is how you need to understand the big picture. If anybody asks you what is surface design, can't you tell the story? Can't you tell the story? This is the story. So you should tell like a story. So why I'm just telling you, in the interview, they will ask you, what is surface design? Right? They will ask you, what is meant by surface design? Why I can't design this component in part design workbench? Why should I go with surface? So then you can start a story. Okay, to create a complex component, its surface has a very good capability to bring the continuities, both in terms of tangency and curvature, where I just create all my surface feature, which is 0 mm thickness, with the Z, that's what we call as a skin, where I use all my wireframes. It could be sketch or a 3D wireframes, points, lines, splines, and organize all these wireframes and build surfaces. On the top of surfaces, I do some operations within the surfaces so that I attain my final styling of a product. That's what edge fillet you can see. And this edge fillet, finally, I'm going to convert into a solid of thickness, whatever it could be. Okay. So this is the entire storytelling you should tell if anybody asks you. So this storytelling is something which builds your confidence when you go for an interview. Okay. So that means, you know, the interviewer will know. I do that generally. I'll tell any of my design engineers to tell the story, how you start design. The way he builds the story, telling that this is how the design has to happen, we will understand that is very clear. Somebody is muted. Please, can you just unmute it? Aditya. Yeah. So you can able to understand the entire workflow of the process. So what I recommend generally is that surface design is very interesting, provided you think the design aspects of that particular component design, how it's going to build up, right? Any doubts so far, please, gentlemen? I will cover all these features, Sharath. Don't worry. I'll show you trim. I'll show you all the operations. I want to show you the story first so that you understand the story. It's just like small trailer sort of inputs, which gives you an inputs about what exactly the surface design is all about. Now from here, if I tell you to do it, you do without any problem. So you will not have any challenges before doing it. So what are the important points which I told you today? Just remember that is so important. So this is my big picture of what exactly the surface capabilities is. Kiran, is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
You have used this, Kiran, like this before?